What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new video. Now today you join me for another car review. As you can see behind me, we have the all new Suzuki Jimny 5-door. Big thanks to BB Group Suzuki, which is the local Suzuki dealership out here in Jimny. Do check out Musa. I'll leave all his contact details down in the description below. That's the person you should reach out to at Suzuki. Now I really do hope you guys enjoy this review. Let's get right into it.
As I woke up in the morning, just thinking about this night. As I woke up in the morning, just thinking about this night.
So, the Suzuki Jimny 5-door. Now, the 5-door is all about being more practical. It has extra doors, it's longer, and it's more spacious. And that's it. Everything else is the same with the 3-door version. Now, the Jimny is quite iconic for its design, for its boxy looks. Looks very similar to the Jeep Wrangler and the Mercedes G-Wagon. And I think that's why it's quite popular, especially leaning more towards the G-Wagon. It's a very cool, quirky little off-roader. So yeah, quite nice. What I like about it is that it doesn't really have any rivals. Its pricing, this segment, it's pretty much a standalone type of car, because pretty much all the other cars in this segment or this price point are not really off-roaders and all of that. Now, in terms of design, very simplistic, but it also stands out. It's quite imposing in how it's designed, like the boxy shape, the off-roady type of tough and rugged looks. Like, as you can see with this bumper, like it protrudes out, everything just looks so beefy, so squared off, and you can tell that this is a capable off-roader. Now, this is the GLX model, and it does have some flashy touches on top of the standard GL. You get these 16-inch alloy wheels, and they do look cool. So as to say, you have these black side parts on the fenders, extended fenders that is. It also extends on the side skirts, and yeah, it's not really a big car. It's quite tiny actually in SUV standards, but it's quite cool. Coming around to the rear, the boxy shape continues, and you do have a spare wheel with a proper rim on it, which is quite cool. Suzuki Jimny on the other side, all grip because it's all-wheel drive. So yeah, that's pretty much how I can describe the design and the look of the vehicle. Very squared off, very boxy, and I think that's where I'll leave it off. Let's check out the interior. So, Jimny interior. Now, the feel of the door closing is very satisfying. Now, the Jimny is a very off-roady, lifestyle, adventure type of vehicle, and you can see that inside and out. It's not about tech, luxury, and any of that. Everything is all about being tough and rugged, like all these bolts that you see here, and also on the instrument cluster. Still boxy, but there is a lot of angles inside here. Now, in terms of quality, doesn't have the highest quality materials, but everything feels very solid. Like this grab handle, the entire dashboard, all the door handles, it all feels very solid. And I do like these toggle switch type of window controls, the traction control button and the hill descent control button. It all adds up to the whole ethos of the vehicle, which is off-roading, so as to say. Now you get a 9-inch infotainment screen in the GLX, so as to say. I think I need the key on me. So, okay, vehicle on. 9-inch infotainment display. You have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All the nitty-gritty is very nice. One thing I'll put out there for you to note is the sound system is pretty crap. So as to say, it's not good by any means. So do take note of that. It's really, really bad, especially compared to the other models, the Swift, the Baleno, and all of that. It's really bad. But everything else, you do have auto climate controls. You do have some USB ports, although it's USB-A, which is old school. You have a 12-volt socket as well. In terms of practicality, it's not all too practical. Like the door pockets are very small. You can't even fit a bottle or any of that. There is the space here beneath the grab handle where you can put a phone or something like that. Glove box is decently big, not too bad. You do have cup holders in the center which are fairly deep, but the shape of them, they are in this hexagonal shape. We don't need that. They're in this hexagonal shape, which, yeah, can be awkward for certain types of containers and all of that, but they are deep and big enough. You do have window switches for the rear windows here in the center. Front windows switches are the toggle switches that I spoke about. And you do have the drive mode lever, rather, for the two-wheel drive mode, four-wheel drive high, and four-wheel drive low range mode, which is quite cool. And yeah, everything else, the steering wheel is the same one that we find in stuff like the Swift and all the other models. And yeah, it's pretty nice in here. Not too luxurious, not too turkey, just very off-roady and adventure type of vehicle. Let's check out the rear room, which is the main part of the Jimny 5-door. So, Jimny back seat, not too many luxuries back here. You don't get rear air vents or charging ports and any of that, but the rear bench is very comfy, very upright, but you can still sit comfortably, and there is a decent amount of room. As you can see, I'm about 5'7" tall, so yeah, I fit in quite nicely. I do have a lot of headroom, so yeah, even really tall people can fit in here. And yeah, even the transmission tunnel, not too big. You can easily move between either side like so. So yeah, very practical, not too many luxuries, and that's your lot. Another thing I noted is the rear doors don't open all too wide, so it can be difficult or challenging to lift stuff in and out, especially stuff like car seats, not car seats, child seats, and all of that, even for big people to enter the rear area. So yeah, that's something to note. So the Jimny boot space, 211 liters of boot capacity. That is really tiny. For perspective sense, a Polo has about 350 liters, a Golf has about 380 liters. So yeah, not too big. And also there's no underfloor or anything like that. So yeah, that's your lot. Not much of a loading lip, which is one plus, I guess. And I do like this side opening tailgate. It's quite cool. Also houses the spare wheel. Nothing says off-road quite like that. Okay, so here's a breakdown of the pricing and trim levels. Now the base car is the GL 5-speed manual, and it starts from this price. The mid-trim is the GLX 5-speed manual, and it starts from this price. And then the top trim is the GLX automatic, and that starts from this price. That's pretty much all your trim levels and the pricings. Now all cars come as standard with a 4-year 60,000 kilometer service plan and a 5-year 200,000 kilometer warranty. And yeah, that's pretty much all your lot. Let's talk about all the engine specs. Okay, so engine technicalities. There's a choice of one engine and two gearboxes. The engine is the K15B, which we've seen in all the other models. It's a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with 75 kilowatts, that's around 102 horsepower, and 130 newton meters of torque. Now the gearboxes, there's a choice of the 5-speed manual and the 4-speed automatic transmission. Now all Jimnys come as standard with the all-wheel drive system, and yeah, that's pretty much all your technicalities. So guys, you joined me inside the Jimny 5-door, and driving this car has sort of reminded me of the Toyota Hilux, in the sense that the way the suspension feels on this has that kind of floaty and bouncy ride type of feel, but it's actually a lot more comfortable than how I remember the Hilux to be. So it's still a very sublime feeling vehicle, so as to say, but you do get like some body roll, especially when you do some aggressive turning and all of that, which makes sense because it's a very tall riding vehicle, and the brakes are not that confidence inspiring. So it's not a performance car, it's mainly an off-roader and an urban environment type of vehicle. But in terms of normal road use, it's very comfortable, very practical. The space out in the back is quite good, and it does all of that pretty well. And where I really want to experience it is off-road. Nothing too hectic though, just some small amount of off-roading. But like I said during the video, It's not much of a big vehicle, so even parking it and all of that, it's not intimidating, and you still get that raised ride height. And yeah, it's quite cool. And before we get to the off-roading bit, I think I'll close it off like this. It's not the most luxurious car, it's not the most tech-centric car, it's not the safest and all of that, but it's quite unique, especially at this price point. Like I said earlier, there aren't many other cars at this price point that are quite as capable as the Jimny is. Like, this can go toe to toe with proper, more expensive off-roaders like Land Cruisers, even stuff like the Mercedes G-Wagon, Land Rovers, Range Rovers, which is quite insane. That's what's impressive about the Jimny. So in conclusion, it's practical enough, it's dailyable, very relaxing to drive, it can work as a family car, and when it comes to the adventure lifestyle off-roading type of thing, it's really faultless. Like, it really shines in that department. So that's where I would put the Jimny. Sure, it's quite expensive, even the base price, but name one car which is not expensive nowadays. So everything has moved on, basically. So even the Jimny price wise, it has also moved on. So if you're into this type of vehicle, it really will deliver, and you will enjoy quite being in the wildlife, enjoying some great scenery, driving across some sand dunes, forests and all of that. That's what the Jimny is all about. Now let's experience it off-road. So guys, like I said, we're not doing any hectic off-roading, just mainly driving on a gravel road. But yeah, I'm actually having some fun. Oh, by the way, the Jimny has portal axles, which is a very complex off-roady type of suspension, and it has a lot of benefits, one of which, it gives the car extra ground clearance, and it helps manages the power between the wheels. The portal axles are at the rear, by the way, so it helps manages the power split between the rear wheels, so for optimization of grip when you're driving through off-road terrains and all of that, basically. So you do find portal axles in the likes of Mercedes G-Wagon, Toyota Land Cruisers, basically any proper off-road vehicle that you can think about pretty much has portal axles. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why the Jimny is so capable off-road. So yeah, even driving through this gravel road still soaks up the bumps pretty well, and it's actually quite fun. So this is what the Jimny is all about. Oh, and you can feel the rear rotating about while you hit bumps, so it's quite a weird sensation. I can almost liken it to how the Golf 8R felt through curves, because that has like a rear diff, but it's a totally different thing. Don't quote me and say I said the Jimny drives like a Golf 8R. I'm just saying in terms of the sensation that's going on at the rear. Jeez, this is so fun. I can drive here forever. Camera is now losing its mind because of all the bumps, but yeah, this is basically all off-roading I wanted to show you with the Jimny. It felt so wrong to do a video on a Jimny and only drive it in an urban environment. So yeah, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this review, and like I said, I've left Musa's details down in the description below. That is contact details. Do check them out for any new vehicles from Suzuki. And yeah, that's cheers from me.